Jasmine here, and welcome back to the channel. So today I thought I would do a little bit of a video on geometry and geometry homework and just kind of geometry in general. I'm currently in a geometry class and I'm working to pass currently, so and I have some homework to do. So I thought, why not get a video out of it, and so that's what we're doing today. I actually think I like this lighting better. Hold on, let me test something. Oh, that's weird. This would be kind of cool to film a video in this lighting though. I don't know. Put in the comments which lighting do y'all like better. I'm gonna film like this for now. So yeah, I want to talk about geometry today and kind of just some things that go along with it, and you know, the challenges I face and the struggles, and also some things that are easy about geometry. And I know that easy and geometry are not usually two words that go together in the same sentence most of the time, but sometimes they do. But if you are visually impaired or blind and you're looking at going into geometry, I definitely have some tips for you and some pointers. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. First thing I would say is, if you can, meet with your teacher before you actually start your classes. I promise you this will make a world of a difference. You get a really good feel for your teacher, and you get to know exactly who they are, what you're dealing with, and you get a better sense of what is actually going to happen in your year with the teacher. And you also get a chance to talk accommodations, which is always the best thing. If you can talk accommodations with the teacher before you go into geometry, do it. If you can talk accommodations with any teacher before you do anything, do it. It literally makes the world of a difference in a school setting. Just talk accommodations before you meet with people. It just makes life so much better, I promise you. Another thing to do beforehand is make sure you have all of the materials and equipment you're going to be needing. So if you're going to need a brailer, make sure you have a brailer. If you're going to need a magnifier, make sure you have a magnifier. If you're going to need large print materials, make sure you specify that. Whatever you need, make sure you try to have those things. If you need a special calculator, if you need braille graph paper, anything, just try to make sure you have that before you start your year or your semester, because let me tell you, trying to start a semester without those tools, honestly, it's just not fun. And also get more tools than you think you need. So if you don't think you need a protractor but you might, just make sure you have one handy. Or if you don't think you're going to need a ruler but you might, just have one handy and keep them around, because you never know when you're going to end up needing something like that, and it can actually come in very useful when you're like, oh, I didn't think I was going to need this thing, and now I need this thing, but it's really cool because I have it now. So yeah. So currently we are sitting at my desk where I have my brailer, one of my print sheets, and my lamp kind of set up, and this is where I'm going to be doing my homework for the day. My desk is such a mess. Anyway, so I will be getting my braille homework, but this is a brailer. If you're not exactly sure what I'm talking about, it's a Perkins braille writer, and it's a loud, noisy machine that it's basically like a typewriter for the blind and visually impaired to use. And this is how I do a lot of my math, because it's a lot easier for me to braille it out rather than try to write with a pencil. I don't know if you can see here, but this is my my pencil writing on this sheet of paper here. So not the best thing. So brailing is definitely something that this machine here is something I use a lot, all the time, and it's an efficient way to get math done, and as you'll see, a lot of my homework is in braille also. Something else to think about too when going into geometry is there is a lot of work involved, but it's something that you can get through if you really try to succeed. You can achieve what you want. So this here is one of the many volumes of my math textbook. So this whole thing is in Braille. This is, let's see, chapter 4.2, volume 22. It actually doesn't tell me how many volumes in total the textbook is, but this is volume 22. I know I have in my room somewhere volume 53, and that goes up to chapter 8, and the book, it continues on from there. So, you know, it's a big textbook. Braille textbooks usually are pretty big and very lengthy because Braille takes up a lot more space than print does, especially in math textbooks, because you have to have diagrams as well. So it's not just as simple as I'm going to put this diagram and these words all on one page, because the diagrams take up a lot more space than you think. So for example, I don't know how much of this the camera can actually pick up on and see, but these are some words and these are some different polygons. So some of the words are on here, but that's also not the whole page. This is actually page 185A. And so if we flip over to the next page, this is 185B, and there's more diagrams and shapes and things. So a lot of, like expect you're going to have a big textbook and you're going to be lugging around a lot of stuff in your backpack. But that's kind of just a little bit of a talk about like Braille textbooks and how big they are, because Braille textbooks are huge. They're gargantuan. So a lot of geometry and school in general is juggling, like for, at least this is for me being visually impaired, is juggling between multiple things at once, because I have my Braille textbook and then I'm going to my Braille writer, and I also have my print textbook that I will go grab in just a second. And so I'm going back and forth between the Braille textbook and the print textbook and the Braille writer, and sometimes even a piece of print scratch paper, because I personally am a visual learner who is unable to see, which presents its own world of challenges. So since I'm unable to see and I'm a visual learner, I'm unable to see small things, so I have to draw things out for myself. So for example, I was doing an assessment the other day, and these right triangles, they weren't making sense to me in Braille, so I got a piece of scratch paper and drew out the triangles in a way that I could look at it visually and label them and have it make sense to me. The problem is that a lot of times when things are drawn out visually, they can be too small, which is where a magnifier comes in handy, but sometimes it's a lot easier for me to draw my own visuals and kind of make that picture, because if I have to draw it, I have to think about what's where. So that's just a strategy I use, because sometimes drawing your own visuals really does help a lot. I literally just stopped filming that clip and I turned off the camera and the whole tripod fell. Oh, that was exciting. Okay, so just to kind of like give you a little bit of an idea, I guess, this is my print math textbook. So a lot of this stuff in here, I'm just gonna open this from the page, is smaller. Honestly, I can't really see it. I obviously can't read things that are that small. But if I find the page I'm looking for in the Braille, say I'm looking for 186 in the Braille, I can go try to find that with my magnification devices in the Big Ideas textbook, and then try to figure out what problems I'm doing based off of that, because if I can find both pages, then I'm able to switch back and forth between the Braille textbook and the print textbook with my magnifier, and then the Braille writer English. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about that. I'd like to point out that lighting is so bad. That entire clip was lit very poorly. I apologize. Oh well. Blind YouTuber, hashtag blind YouTuber life. I'm making that a hashtag.
Black background with white text that says hashtag blind YouTuber life.
Also, once again, apologizing for the random sounds that are going to be in the background of this video. The guinea pigs are drinking water and squeaking, and if you hear random sighs and moving around and stuff, my dog is chilling in here too. This is the perks of filming in a bedroom with lots of animals. We love it. Really, we do love it. And then, so, see right there, this cat's drinking. Thank you, Scout, for being in the video. This is why we put music over the video. Because it knocks out those sounds most of the time. Hashtag YouTuber tricks. So back to the topic at hand, which is geometry. Another thing I wanted to talk about before I kind of get started with my homework, and I might film a little bit of that and then edit it down and just kind of see what happens, is I wanted to talk about magnifiers. So this is my magnifier. I have no idea what it's called, so don't ask me. But basically, you turn it on and it magnifies whatever it sees in front of it. So I will demonstrate this too with the book, but basically there's different settings. You can kind of change these around a little bit and make it like available for you to kind of however you would see best to magnify it, and then zooming in as well. So I'll show a little bit more of that, but magnifiers, you are so loud. Okay, magnifiers are really important if you're visually impaired or if you have some usable vision, especially if you are a visual learner, because they enable you to make text bigger and also visuals. So if you have like a diagram in a print textbook, for example, that you're trying to figure out how to see, or a worksheet that you are trying to read, it is so helpful to be able to magnify that instead of trying to either get the worksheet in large print or trying to read it, and that causes a lot of eye strain. At least for me, I know it does. So being able to have that ability to magnify things has made the world of a difference for me, because honestly I get things done a lot more efficiently and faster, and it's just easier. So definitely, if you have any usable vision, look at getting a magnifier, because it really does help so much, especially with geometry. Back open to just like a random page here. I'm going to try to film this with one hand holding the camera and one hand holding the magnifier, so if this is awful, I just really apologize. Anyway, so this is just a random page. Most people, like if you're sighted, you can read this page just fine. But for me, I would pull up my magnification device and try to get it to focus. Okay, so this is kind of a really big thing for me, and so this is basically what this does. It says maintaining mathematical whatever. But so basically the magnifier, if you wanted to look at something in like just black and white, or if you wanted to look at it with a black background with white on it, blue, black with yellow, normal, and then that, and then blue with yellow, black with white, white with black. These are kind of just like the same things, they just have a couple of their different options. And then if I wanted to make it bigger, I can lower the I can lower the size of the print or make it bigger, and I can also take a picture. So then if I move the magnifier away, I'm trying to read something, I can magnify the picture, which is really cool and very helpful. And then if you tap the button again, we go back to here. So that's basically kind of like an overview of what a magnifier kind of does. Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of show you guys how I like go about doing homework and kind of just like what I'm doing. So this is mathematics. In exercises 3 through 6, determine whether the coordinate plane shows a reflection in the x-axis, y-axis, or neither. So we have this graph here. I don't know how much you can see it, but it's in Braille, and I struggle to actually define the shape just by feeling it. So this is one of those times where I will utilize my magnification tools and do this visually. 96 here, and obviously I can't see where exercise 3 is. So I'm going to magnify this and find where exercise 3 is. Here we go. So then I can go ahead and look at this visually to determine what I'm trying to look at. Obviously it's not very focused right now because I keep moving it and I have to write these down and stuff. But that's exercise 4. But this is a surefire way to ensure success, and yeah, this is why I love magnifiers. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about how I personally do geometry as a visually impaired person, and kind of a couple of my pro tips and things on what I would recommend doing, and just kind of how to go about things. I know it can definitely be a very, very stressful time. Geometry is not an easy math class to take. It's definitely one of the harder classes you're going to take in high school, in my personal opinion. Of course, everybody has different thoughts on that, but personally, I think geometry is one of the hardest classes you're going to take. So if you can get past that, the rest of it should go really well. And some of it also, I would like to say, depends on your teacher, because if you get a teacher that's really willing to help you and make things accessible, your life is going to be a whole lot easier, rather than if you have a teacher who is not so willing to assist you in accessibility. So yeah, basically the overview: fight for what you need, make sure you have all your materials before you do anything, and magnifiers are wonderful. So yeah, that's kind of all I had for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I will totally answer those. So yeah, have a good day, y'all.